introduction from a great new state senator, Joe Wynn. I am so glad to be here. I have had a chance once again to meet with your mayor, Jenny Durkan, a progressive mayor for a progressive city. And I do feel like I'm at home. I've been here lots of times, mostly for your two great senators, for Maria Cantwell and for Patty. And I'm also particularly happy to be in the home state of one of the finest governors in America. This entire country owes Governor Jay Inslee a big debt of gratitude. He has pushed the issue of climate change onto this. It really is good to be here. You guys are fabulous. What a gorgeous day for this. And I'm here with family. I brought my husband, Bruce. Where are you, sweetie? There he is. Yeah. Okay, good. There'll be no living with him, you know. No, he's the best in the world. I really am. I'm so glad to be here. I thought what we do today is I tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about why I'm in this race. We'll do some questions. I think we've already drawn some questioners. Oh, I got one right there. Okay. And then for anybody who wants to, I'll stay as long as you want. We'll take selfies. So I grew up out in Oklahoma. I am any Okies? Oh, we got some right here. Woohoo! There aren't that many of us. I am the baby. I have three much older brothers. And my three older brothers, can you hear me? So like I was saying, I'm the baby. I have three much older brothers. I was what used to be called a late in life baby. My mother always just referred to me as the surprise. Now, I have three older brothers, like I said, who to this day are still referred to as the boys, distinguishing them from the baby that came later. So all three of the boys went off and joined the military. My oldest brother, Don Reed, he was career military. He spent about 5.5 years off and on in combat in Vietnam. We were very lucky to get him back home. Yeah. My third brother, David, was trained as a combat medic. And that has given rise to a rule in our family, and that is never choke in front of David. The reason is even today, David carries a sharpened pocket knife. He is convinced he could do an emergency tracheotomy. It makes for some very exciting moments at Thanksgiving. Anybody goes, David says, I'm ready. When I was a girl, the question asked in Washington about the minimum wage is, what does it take a family of three to survive? What does it take a family of three to get a foothold in America's middle class, something solid they can build from? Today, the question asked in Washington is, where do we set the minimum wage to maximize the profits of giant corporations? Well, I don't want a government that works for giant corporations. I want one that works for our families. So like I said, the boys went off, they joined the military. That was their path. Me, I had a different path. I have known what I wanted to do since second grade. Woo! Some of you probably didn't decide till fourth grade. Now, man, I've known what I wanted to do since second grade, and I've never wavered from it. I wanted to be a public school teacher. Can we hear it from I used to line my dollies up and teach school. I had a reputation for being tough but fair. Oh, this is what I wanted. I so wanted it. But by the time I graduated from high school, we didn't have the money for college application, much less to send me off to 4 years at university. So, like a lot of Americans, I don't have a straight line story. My story has got a lot of twists and turns in it. So here's how mine goes. First, I got a scholarship to college. Yay! And then, at 19, I fell in love, got married, and dropped out of school. By the way, not to that guy. Yes, I've numbered my husbands. He's H2. So, got a minimum wage job, thought, it's a good life. And it was the life I'd chosen. Nobody pushed me into this. But it wasn't a dream. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And then I found it. We're living down in Houston at this point, and I found what was then a commuter college 45 minutes away that cost $50 a semester.
Wow.
Yeah. And for a price I could pay for on a part-time waitressing job, I had a chance to finish my 4-year diploma, and I became a special needs teacher. I've lived my dream job. Money, money, money. And here's the thing. We're not going to fix that with one little statute over here or a couple of regulations over there. The only way we fix that is with big structural change. Thank you. So think about it this way. Think about this corruption this way. Go back to the early 1990s. We're beginning to figure out what's going on in climate change. We're not perfectly there. We don't have all the right science quite, but we got most of it. We can see the directions this stuff is going. We don't have perfect language, but getting there. And here's the amazing thing. You go back and look, and the Democrats and the Republicans were working together. Yeah? Go back and look. They're figuring out, does the EPA need more help? Do they need more resources? Do they need more authority? Are there other bills we should be passing? What should we be doing? And then along come big oil, big polluters, the Koch brothers. They come in and they say, you know, this could be a problem. If our government, our federal government gets really serious about climate change, they're going to bite into our profits. If they change the regulations, that's going to disrupt how we do business. So they have an investment decision to make. They could invest in clean energy. Say we're going to stop doing fossil. They don't do that. They could say, well, we're going to invest in green tech. You know, how to get carbon out of the air, how to get it out of the water, desalinate. They don't do that. No, you know what they invest in? They invest in politicians. They go to Washington and start spreading their money around. And one of the first places they spread it is on bought and paid for experts who deny climate science. Now, I want you to think for a minute about why so much money got pumped into that. And the answer?
Money!
It's not because, not because these guys don't understand the science. No, it's because having bought and paid for experts builds an umbrella over all of the politicians. An umbrella they can hide under and keep taking money from big oil, from the Koch brothers, from big polluters and say, I don't know what's really going on here. You want to understand the climate crisis we're in today? It's 25 years of corruption in Washington that has brought us.
President, how are you?
I like that. Just say that first word again. Okay, Alice.
How are you going to end the crisis at the border and protect and support immigrant families?
Let's start with the crisis at the border and acknowledge this crisis was made by Donald Trump. All this business about the caravans, what people are doing, a big part of this started when the Trump administration started cutting off support to countries in Central America. So governments started losing their ability to control the gangs, economic future goes down, and more people say, my only chance is to get out of here. So part of it is you just start by meeting our responsibilities around the world. Let's help people who are in trouble. Let's help people in Central America. Let's make it easier for them to build life. Of water to a police officer. This is back at her home in Central America. And she said, the word went out to the gangs that I was helping the police. And I knew what that meant. So as soon as I heard it, I wrapped up my baby and ran for the border. And she's here to ask for asylum. No great nation separates children from their families. No great nation tries to enforce an immigration policy by harming people, by making them hurt worse. Our immigration policies must reflect our values every single day. That means right now in this country, we need to expand legal immigration. We need to provide a pathway to citizenship for the people who are here to stay. It's dreamers, but so much more. It's grandmas, it's kids, it's people who came here to work agriculture, it's people who overstayed student visas. These are our neighbors, our friends. They are woven into our country, and we need to bring them out of the shadows. And third, I promise you, as President of the United States, and I love saying that our policies at our border will reflect our values. We will not take away children from their parents. We will not lock up people who are seeking asylum. And we will be the America on which this country was founded. Immigration makes us stronger, not weaker. And what happens in 2020 is not just about the next 4 years or the next 8 years. This is generation after generation about what happens in our country. And I'm grateful to every one of you for showing up and investing in our democracy. Thank you. One last point from the heart. And that is to say, you know, people tell me, you're making this too hard, Elizabeth. You talk about plans and pieces, and, you know, you got a lot of plans. Of course, my view is, look, you want to get something done, I think you ought to have a plan. But I understand, you know, the experts, and believe me, everybody in the United States Senate is an expert, say to me, this isn't what campaigns are about. Go say a few generic things, it's all right, shake a lot of hands, smile more. And just don't do this other stuff. And you know, I think about not just that we need to make a little change over here that might be politically popular or one little piece over there. We do need to make big structural change in this economy, in this democracy. And when people tell me it's too hard, I think about, what did the naysayers say to the suffragettes? Too hard, give up now, right? What did they say to the early union organizers? Quit now, too hard. What did they say to the foot soldiers in the civil rights movement? Too hard, quit now. What did they say just a few years ago to the LGBTQ activists? Too hard, quit now. But they didn't quit. They got organized. They built a grassroots movement. They persisted. And they changed the course of American history. This is our moment in history. Dream